Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq presides over the meeting of the Supervisory Committee of the National Employment Program and reviews major challenges facing the job seekers' employment file. His Majesty the Sultan issues directives to combine the efforts of all government and private bodies in their endeavor to support the National Employment Program. And His Majesty receives at Al Baraka Palace the credentials of His Excellency the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia accredited to the Sultanate. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. As part of the royal attention that His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq accords to the issue of employment of job seekers, which is considered among the top priorities of the government's action, His Majesty the Sultan presided over a meeting of the Supervisory Committee of the National Employment Program, NEP, at Al Baraka Palace today. His Majesty the Sultan reviewed major challenges to the job seekers' employment file and analyzed the current labor market situation, related factors and indicators, and the efforts exerted by the government in this respect. During the meeting, His Majesty the Sultan looked into the plans of the program, its method of functioning, and the objectives in the next stage. His Majesty the Sultan also reviewed the progress made in the employment program through a set of initiatives made to provide jobs in government sectors, civil as well as military sectors, and in the private sector. His Majesty the Sultan issued directives to combine the efforts of all government and private parties in their endeavor to support the NEP and its empowerment. The aim is to accelerate full study of the challenges facing employment and set up more comprehensive plans and programs for generating employment for job seekers in a sustainable manner that fits with the approaches of Oman Vision 2040. His Majesty the Sultan pledged to accord his royal keenness to the National Employment Program. He affirmed that he will maintain a close follow-up of the NEP to ensure it yields the desired outcome. The meeting was attended by the members of the Supervisory Committee of the National Employment Program and His Excellency, the head of the private office. May the Almighty Allah protect His Majesty the Sultan and guard him as a source of inspiration, progress and prosperity for Oman and its loyal people under his royal and wise leadership. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received at Al Baraka Palace this morning the credentials of His Excellencies Abdullah bin Saud Al-Anizi, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Ambassador of the Custodian of the two Holy Mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, accredited to the Sultanate. During the side meeting with His Majesty, the Ambassador conveyed greetings of the Custodian of the two Holy Mosques, along with his best wishes of good health, happiness, and a long life to His Majesty the Sultan and the Omani people, continuous progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Majesty. He also expressed his great honor and utmost delight to present his credentials before His Majesty the Sultan. He affirmed to exert all his efforts to enhance the relations between his country and the Sultanate in various spheres in a manner that serves the joint interest of the Omani and Saudi brotherly people. His Majesty the Sultan welcomed the ambassador, expressing his thanks for the greetings and best wishes of the custodian of the two Holy Mosques. His Majesty the Sultan affirmed him that he would receive all support from His Majesty the government and the Omani people to facilitate carrying out his duties. The credential presentation ceremony was attended by His Excellency the Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, His Excellency the Foreign Minister, the Commander of the Royal Guard of Oman, the Head of the Royal Protocols, and the military ADCs to His Majesty the Sultan. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of condolences to His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Subah, Emir of Kuwait, on the death of Sheikh Faisal Muhammad Abdul Aziz Al-Malik Al-Subah. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Uthman Ghazali of Comoros on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi on his country's Independence Day anniversary. His Excellency General Sultan bin Muhammad Al-Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, received His Excellency Bols Abela Nalp, Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Switzerland, accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged about the course of relations between the Sultanate and the Swiss Confederation. A number of areas of cooperation and ways of developing them were also reviewed to achieve the interests of the two friendly countries, in addition to a number of matters of common interest. As many as 1,570 new cases of coronavirus COVID-19 were registered in the Sultanate today, in addition to 33 new COVID-19 related death cases. This brings the total number of positive COVID-19 cases to 276,636 in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health pointed out that the total number of COVID-19 fatalities reached 3,316. The ministry added that 1,908 new cases have recovered, bringing the total number to 244,782 recoveries. The ministry also pointed out that 166 cases were hospitalized over the past 24 hours, as the total number of current hospitalized COVID-19 infected patients stands at 1,554. Of them, 506 are in intensive care units. According to the Ministry of Health, the number of people vaccinated against COVID-19 in the Sultanate increased to reach 1,096,838 people, 30% of the total target number, which is 3.7 million people. This includes 78% of those who received one dose and 22% of individuals who received 2 doses until the 3rd of July 2021. The Ministry of Health continues to implement national COVID-19 vaccination campaign in various governorates of the Sultanate. In the governorate of Al-Dhahira, health centers allocated for vaccination witnessed high turnout from citizens and residents to get vaccination. The centers received the target group, namely those who are 18 years old and above. The vaccination process went very smoothly amid technical and administrative procedures, in addition to the good organization at the centers. Preventive measures were taken during the vaccination process. The Ministry of Health launched Tarassud Plus, through which people can book appointments for vaccination. Medical cadres, voluntary teams, and scouts and guides represent an integrated system in the vaccination campaign in the governorate of Al-Dhahira. Citizens and residents are sending their sincere gratitude to the healthcare staff. At this very moment, our healthcare workers are on the front lines battling the novel coronavirus COVID-19, which is spreading in many parts of our country and around the world. They are putting themselves in the path of this virus in this unprecedented crisis. Our doctors, nurses, technicians, transporters, pharmacists, respiratory therapists, physiotherapists, lab technicians, and everyone who supports patient care are rising to the occasion and caring for our most vulnerable populations. Thank you from everyone in the country, presented this clip by our reporters Abdullah Rabi'i.
I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep thanks and gratitude to all the workers in the health sector. We know they are spending their precious time trying to save everyone and overcome this pandemic. I urge every one of you to go and comply to the guidelines set by the Supreme Committee and also take the vaccination as soon as possible. We know the guidelines are now, you can get vaccinated above 18 years. Let's all get passed by this pandemic and stay safe, inshallah.
Thank you, doctors. Thank you, nurses.
Our healthcare worker, thank you for your effort, courage, and dedication and sacrifice since the start of this pandemic. I know it is tough. Hang on there. You are our hero.
Thank you all.
I would like to register my deep thanks to all healthcare staff across the Sultanate of Oman for their dedicated work in the hospitals. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers, thank you very much.
When I protect myself, I protect you. Thank you for healthcare staff.
I just want to thank for the nurses and the doctors and the all healthcare for helping us and take care about us in this time. It's a tough time. I just want to tell the people, please follow the preventive methods. Thank you.
Thank you for all the personal health care to take care of all the health of all the people in Oman. We need to protect you, and for this we need to follow the preventive measure of the government in our clinic and everywhere in Oman. Thank you very much.
Dear healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, and everyone else, I would like to say thank you from the deep of my heart for whatever effort that you are putting into this. This pandemic has really been a challenge for all of us, and you have proven that you can make it. And thank you very much. We would like to congratulate all of you for the success and for all the effort that you have put into this to be a reality. We have managed to do a lot. It's just because of you and your resilience. Thank you very much.
And we also thank our colleague Abdullah Rabi'i for bringing this beautiful clip, and thanks to everybody who's working in the healthcare sector. Still to come in our news bulletin. The July 4th celebration light up the New York skyline after last year's pandemic cancellations. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Asyad Express signed an agreement with Vodafone to provide it with end-to-end logistic fulfillment services. More details in the following report.
Within its constant endeavors to position itself as a regional fulfillment and distribution hub for e-commerce, Asyad Express, part of Asyad Group, signed an agreement with Vodafone for the provision of end-to-end fulfillment services through its new state-of-the-art fulfillment center.
We strive to deliver excellent quality in terms of services to all of our customers and provide logistics, end-to-end logistics services to our customers. We're very pleased that we have signed the agreement with Vodafone today to provide such services. Our ultimate goal is customer satisfaction, and we look forward to serving our partner Vodafone in this regard, and to further expanding our reach and services during 2021.
Located in close proximity to Muscat International Airport, the fulfillment center is equipped to serve local and international retailers of all sizes, offering them an easier, quicker, and more efficient way to do business.
At Vodafone, we're very proud to be signing this agreement with Etihad Express. This will enable us to provide our services to our customers in the near future and use its facilities, its experience, and the logistic area to ensure that we provide the best services in the market.
The fulfillment center is part of Oman Post and Etihad Express Hub. It offers comprehensive services, including storage of products, pick, pack and dispatch of online orders for last mile domestic and international delivery and handling of returns.
This strategic partnership between Etihad Express and Vodafone will provide end-to-end logistics services that will enable Vodafone to better service customers and deliver the most advanced logistics solutions when Vodafone will launch in the near future. Salih Mukhalfan al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The statistical indications of insurance sector showed that the total Omanization percentage in the sector reached 79% in 2020. The indicators pointed out that the Omanization percentage and higher employment levels reached 52%, and at middle administrative and technical jobs reached 72%, while the Omanization percentage at functional jobs reached around 86%. These numbers reflected efforts of Temkeen initiative launched by the Capital Market Authority in cooperation with the Ministry of Labor in 2018. The total trading value of real estate activity in the Sultanate by the end of May reached to 1,162 Omani riyals, including to more than 32%. Compared to the same period of last year, the preliminary statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information showed that the allocated fees for all the legal transactions reached to 34 million Omani riyals, according to an increase or recording an increase by 49%. The trading value of sale contracts increased up to 73%, amounting to 492 million. Parts of Indonesia are struggling with oxygen supplies as the number of critically ill COVID-19 patients increase. The nation's pandemic response leader said today the need for oxygen more than tripled. The government is asking oxygen producers to dedicate their full supply to medical needs and will import it if needed. At least 63 COVID-19 patients died during treatment at a hospital in Yogyakarta city since Saturday, 33 of them during the outage of its central liquid oxygen supply, even though the hospital switched to using oxygen cylinders during that period. Indonesia, the world's fourth most populous country, has seen a rapid surge in COVID-19 cases in the last 2 weeks. The health ministry recorded 27,233 new cases with 555 deaths from the virus yesterday. The country has recorded more than 2.2 million cases, including 60,582 deaths. The Netherlands King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima arrived in Germany today for a 3-day visit that was delayed from last year because of the coronavirus pandemic. The royal couple will be received by President Frank-Walter Steinmeier at the beginning of Willem-Alexander's first state visit to Germany since he became king in 2013. They are also expected to visit the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin and are scheduled to meet with German Chancellor Angela Merkel during the visit. Willem-Alexander and Maxima were last in Germany in 2019 when they visited the state of Brandenburg, which surrounds Berlin. The king has some German roots. His father, Prince Claus, was German-born. After a year lost to the coronavirus, New York City's most well-known 4th of July traditions were back yesterday. The traditional Macy's 4th of July fireworks show returned in full form with a display over the East River as shells were shot from 5 barges in a televised choreographed spectacle. This year, crowds were welcome to gather. The show was broadcast live on NBC as part of a 2-hour special featuring artists including the Black Pumas, Coldplay, One Republic, and Reba McEntire. The performance appearances were pre-recorded around the country in front of live audiences. Last year, because of pandemic restrictions, there were a series of short fireworks shows in the days leading up to the holiday, with the locations kept secret in advance to keep people from congregating. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq presides over the meeting of the Supervisory Committee of the National Employment Program and reviews major challenges facing the job seekers' employment file. His Majesty the Sultan issues directives to combine the efforts of all government and private bodies in their endeavor to support the National Employment Program. And His Majesty receives at Al Baraka Palace the credentials of His Excellency the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia accredited to the Sultanate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe.